Hey guys, it's Drew here, also known as Shred Riffs if you follow me on Instagram. But I just wanted to make a quick little video today that talks about practicing, that talks about routine and developing a routine. Some of you guys might know me as the guy that plays on a pink drum set. Well, I also play guitar, and hopefully you've picked that up by now if you subscribe to my channel. But recently I launched a website called lessonswithdrew.com, and basically it's a home base for my teaching business that I have here in Nashville. And essentially what I'm going to be doing is making a series of videos, instructional videos, kind of linked with that website and my YouTube channel, just kind of sharing some ideas, my perspective on the instrument, just some general thoughts. But before I kind of do that, I wanted to just in general talk about practicing. And I think this is something that guitar players struggle with, especially people that I've worked with, with my lessons business. One of the things that I constantly hear is like, "Hey, I didn't have enough time to practice this week," or I wasn't really getting something, so I just decided not to practice, or didn't have enough time. So that's one of the reoccurring themes that I think I hear from my students and that. So I just wanted to share a couple really practical ideas on how to practice. And so let's just get into that. One of the things that I do just in life in general is I use Google Calendar. And what that does is it gives me just a really clear visual for how I'm using my time. So I've got my work schedule on there. I've got all of my lessons and stuff. I've got my practice time in there. I've got my band practice stuff. I've got other meetings and things that I do. So what that does is it enables me to look at a week or a month at a time and just kind of see where my time is going. Okay? And if you don't use that, it's free. A lot of you guys out there probably have Gmail, so just open up that Google Calendar. It syncs pretty seamlessly with your phone. So you'll also have that view on your phone just like you do on the computer. So anyway, Google Calendar, get into it, figure out where you want to practice during the week in Google Calendar. So from there, let's say you had a 3-hour block of time to practice. From there, what you would do is make a routine. So just like you get up in the morning, maybe you stretch a little bit, maybe you do a breathing exercise to kind of wake up, maybe you do some jumping jacks, I don't know. But you get up in the morning and you have a routine so that you don't have to make a detailed list of decisions. Do I wash my clothes right now? Do I go right and take a shower now? Or do I make coffee now? Most human beings have a routine for their day so that they don't have to think about it. They just get up, autopilot mode, you're freaking awake, you're getting shit done, you're getting out the door, and you're doing your life. So the same thing goes for guitar. So what I do is I make a practice schedule or practice routine. So anytime I sit down to work with my guitar, I just kind of map out how that next 3 hours is going to go. So this is just an example. One of the things I did on September 6th was I did my 24 fingerings exercise, which is a thing that walks you through every combination of 1, 2, 3, 4 with your left hand. And I'll make that available on my website as well for you guys if you want to download the PDF of the 24 fingerings. That's a great exercise. So I do that for 30 minutes. And what I do is I set a timer. It's the same app on your phone that you use to wake up in the morning and set your alarm. You just go to this other tab down here, and there you go. You've got a timer, like if you're cooking your mac and cheese and stuff. Same thing goes for if you're doing your 24 fingerings, right? So once that timer goes off, I'm going to move on to the next thing on my list, okay, which in this case is this Paganini Caprice that I'm working on from the April 2005 Guitar World issue that Yngwie did a transcription of it. And I've been working on it for a long time. Super challenging piece. It mixes together economy picking, sweep picking. I've actually incorporated hybrid picking, so hoping to make a video further down the line on that. But that's something that I'm working on, and I start at 108 beats per minute, then I go up to 132 16th notes. So I do that for an hour. And then the next thing it looks like on this day, I did harmonic minor chord stacking. So I can make a whole video on that, but what that is you learn the intervals in the harmonic minor scale, and you practice them on each string, and then you do adjacent strings, then you do non-adjacent strings, and then you start stacking, and you make these beautiful 4-note chords, and then you can kind of like diatonicize them up the neck, and that's a really fun thing to do. I've come up with a lot of like really creative chord textures, ideas, and stuff like that doing that. So I did that for an hour on this particular day, and then the next thing I did was single string scales in the key of A. So did that for an hour. So that's, you know, taking every note in the key of A and playing that on the high E string, and then the B string, and then the G string, and doing 1 finger, 2 finger, 3 fingers, and 4. Doing that will make you definitely remember every note in the key of A on your fretboard. So so basically I set timers, I set time goals for each specific thing that I'm working on, and then when that timer goes off, like, that's it, man, I move on to my next thing, okay? That way I can fit in everything. So the last thing that I recommend doing is write down like a list of a bunch of different things that you want to improve at or work on at guitar, and make yourself a bank of, like, I don't know, 40, 50 different things, and then you can continue to add to that. And so this is mine. Like, I mean, a lot of this stuff won't make sense to you guys because it's personalized to me, but you know, I've got 24 fingerings on here. I've got my scale sequences, so practicing note groups of 4, 5, 6, 7, and beyond. I've got my modes, practicing the modes of the harmonic minor scale, melodic minor scale, all that great stuff. It goes on and on and on, and hopefully I can make some videos of each of these for you guys. But I basically have like a giant bank of things that I want to do on my guitar, and what I do is I pull from that list and I put it into a 3-hour routine or a 5-hour routine, whatever kind of time I have to work on for that particular day. So that's what I do, guys. Google Calendar, make a list of everything you want to improve at and work on. Make a routine just like you do when you get up in the morning. And then the last thing is even if you have 30 minutes or an hour to practice your guitar, like, utilizing that amount of time is more important than just kind of like brushing over it and getting on your phone and going into the wormhole of Facebook and looking at a bunch of dog memes. Of course, we all need time to look at cats and dogs and shit on the internet, but if you utilize that time in a productive way with your instrument, it's better than just practicing for 8 hours once a week in one sitting. So doing a little bit each day helps get that that retention aspect of being a guitarist. So really looking forward to making more of these videos, guys, and just sharing some ideas. I was watching like a Pete Thorne video one day, and someone was like, what do you do when you can't think of anything to practice? And I'm just like, oh my god, like, there's so much stuff on the internet that you could be looking at, or you know, you take the smallest tidbit of something that you've never learned before, and then you take that, you dive it as deep down as you can, and you try every variation of that. So anyway, that's just an example of what you can do with something, instead of like taking the path of like, well, I don't really know what to work on. It's just like, oh my god, like, you have the internet at your fingertips. Like, there's plenty of stuff you can get into. So anyway, hopefully I can get another video up soon, but this is just kind of my first little lesson for you guys. Hopefully I didn't ramble too much, and you know, I'm looking forward to doing more of these and sharing some insight. So take care and have an excellent rest of your week. Bye.